Hello everyone and welcome back to ACSL. It is time to get season number 7 started. It is our pre-season event as we enter a brand new era of the league. We've had some fun races, we've had our website created, we've had so much that has gone into this, and while it's just another season, that is what it may seem like. It's a lot more than that, because as I said, there is so much that has gone on into this campaign and into basically kind of the league going from fresh with the new systems that we have, with the new ratings and everything that has been introduced. We are basically into a complete unknown. We're into something that's gonna not feel normal at all, and that is what I love about it. So it's gonna absolutely feel like the start of something brand new, but of course we're going to continue to reference and mention the previous history of ACSL, because of course it all kind of goes into one, but like any big history, there's always evolution and there's always changes that take place and make things better. And I'm confidently saying that before we've even got underway, really. With this official season. This is the start of it. You're watching it right now. But we've seen it work, and there is nothing about this system that really, can go wrong. In terms of the racing, it's going to be wheel to wheel. It's going to be side by side. There's nothing new in terms of that. We've had a car selection. We've had track selections. I'll show you that later on. But we've had a lot go on behind the scenes, and in terms of stuff like the website and, the ratings that the drivers will have. That is going to be so interesting after each round to see them updated. And already the fun races that we've been holding usually on Saturdays have proven that. They have been showing that across the board. So it is really great to see something brand new come into play. And of course, officially now kind of hit a new season, really. This is not your official start to this. I mean, it is your official start. Of course, when round 1, when the 6 red lights go out, for the start of the new season, once round 1 actually begins, that'll be, that'll really feel like it. But we're not here to today. We're not here to basically just, get ourselves on the circuit, drive around. I waffle to you for about a few hours, and we say goodbye. No, we're racing today. We've got a 15-minute qualifying, and we've got a 40-minute race coming your way. So in terms of, if you're looking to sit back, relax, and enjoy, nothing's different for you. Today's event is a great chance for the drivers to get used to everything, how it's going to work. It's a great chance for all of us to enjoy and see the type of racing that we'll get. And of course, it's a good chance with the new website and everything to make sure everything's nicely working and all set and ready for the season. Because we've had to wait a long time for this new season. There's been a lot that's gone on, and we finally reached that point. And it's now time to actually get this show on the road, and get it on the road in absolute style. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the start is going to go. So as the drivers come to the end of practice, I think it would be slightly hard to kind of not mention it across the board. But this is your Season 7 confirmed calendar. I broadcasted Season 2 of ACSL, which is why Season 2 is in my head. And, talking about an actual campaign, I did that exactly like 1 year ago. 1 year ago and, well, probably just about, 1 year ago and about a few months, I think, on top of that. But this is your confirmed calendar. It's been posted in the ACSL Discord channel, which, believe it or not, is called Calendar, and you can also see it on the ACSL website. But this is how your calendar then looks. We head over to Spa to begin our campaign, and we'll do that on the 18th, I should say, of April, which is of course the 4th month of the year. We'll continue the story at Circuit Sandville, that'll be next up, and then we'll be going racing at Imola, and then the Okayama circuit on the 16th of May. Mo Sport Park is next in Montreal, and then we end our journey where we begin today at Hockenheim. If you remember back to Season 2, for some of the OG viewers and some of the drivers who were driving back then, you'll of course remember, you will very much remember that we had our pre-season event at Imola, we ended the campaign at Imola. So it is today is also a very good chance to kind of see how the final round could play out. You know, there could be a few more new drivers joining. There could be a lot of more things that happen. And, you know, what you're going to see today is definitely not what you're going to see completely. But it's a good chance for everyone to get used to things. And I remember Imola, you know, I remember that Imola preseason event quite literally like how the final race went. Of course, we had the added addition of having to crown a champion. So a little bit more on the line. But, you know, there was still the same fun. And it was still the same enjoyment for all. And we should be back. We should be back. Hello. It seems like OBS was not a fan of me going off the calendar screen. As great as the calendar is, I do have a qualifying to bring you. So, apologies OBS, but you know, I've kind of got to get on with a few things here today. We've kind of got a lot to get through. So, apologies for the stream breaking up for about a whole minute. I was quite literally stood here with having no control over it. I was quite literally stood here. That's not a joke. I quite literally could not do anything. It was literally frozen. There's sometimes a fix you can think of, but no, there's nothing I could have thought of. Let's jump on board, shall we? This is Cone Bayonets. That's right. Sets a representative time on the board in terms of. So he's just set a 1 minute 50.003 at the front. Weebick 1.5 seconds off the pace, and you can already see the big margins being had. Sprite was looking very good when it came to practice earlier on a few moments ago. Hockenheim, of course, was also a round of the Renault Clio Cup back in Season 2, if everyone remembers. We had quite a good race there, in fact. We had a battle for the win. And after what was a bit of a poor Monza, which was the season opener, then we went to Hockenheim, and Hockenheim really gave us hope that we were in for some season. In terms of the drivers had taken a step back, in terms of not, you know, bravery or, like, in the way that they attacked the circuit. No, of course, we're not going to get the driver. Of course, we don't want the drivers to take a step back in terms of that. But it was in terms of the I'm trying to find a way to phrase this correctly. But in terms of brinkmanship, to some degree. In Monza, the approach was, in that Season 2 season opener, that I'm sending it in, and if you're not going to back out, we're making contact, end off. That was the approach, really, I felt at Monza. Which I have to say, our champion, Rai Vodka, really, that was the day where he impressed me. And that's the day where he kind of suggested that he could be champion. And in the end, guess what? He was champion. Only by 4 points in the end, but was still the champion. And why am I bringing this up specifically, in terms of the Season 2? But, of course, we had, you know, a bit of a disappointment at Monza, okay? We then went over to Hockenheim. The drivers kept the aggression up, but they worked smarter. They drove smarter. Unfortunately, you know, the drivers can't send it at every corner. As fun as it would be, at some point, it does become a bit of a joke if we are constantly seeing a bit of incidents. And I think that day, everyone did feel that it was at Monza. We came here, and we had a thrilling race. I remember going absolutely wild in this commentary box position 1 year ago during that. And the top two had a drag race to the line very nearly for the win. It was like about a tenth or two separating them when they came over the line. It was absolutely box office stuff, which, well, ACSL has become used to delivering for us. But it's going to be a long campaign, and it's going to be an interesting campaign. This is the start of it. Season number 7. Of course, you would have seen from the start of the show, the start of the broadcast, we are driving in the BMW M2 Cup. As Code Mayo to reset to the pit lane. So, let's run you through the order. Of course, this is when it starts to get a bit more important in the qualifying. The first few laps can be bankers and drivers just building themselves into the circuit. Of course, if you've got a driver that's massively up on everyone else, you're watching them right now. Sprite 1 minute 50.003. I remember reading that out quite a few minutes ago now. Okay, and we've only been go really for 8 minutes. And he's got an 8.5 tenths over that advantage over second place Dantis Papen. Bar those drivers, they will show their hand early, okay? They can, you know, have like about 20% of them relaxed, and they'll still be able to get to the front because that's the advantage that they've got on the day, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Really, that is the way it works. So it does mean, however, that we're usually then looking for a battle for second. If, of course, there's another driver who's not one of those standouts, because, you know, we have had it occasionally where we've had to look maybe for third or fourth, because it's the top two are the ones who are in a league of their own. But we're looking today more for a battle for second, it appears like. And lots of drivers have had errors on their initial laps. So in terms of the battle and in terms of the context for second, all the way down the order, till 17th, do not worry, I'm not driving. In the context of those positions, basically that's where these 6 minutes are important. Of course, not in the battle for the lead, in terms of who's going to take top. Not in terms of that specifically, because of course, technically, Sprite doesn't need to push it on anymore. Not saying that he won't, but you know, he doesn't need to push on anymore. And the pole position, which is the aim for every driver coming into a qualifying, be the fastest by the time that checkered flag falls. He has got that done in the early few minutes, but we're going to now look to a battle further back and to battles just in general that are lower down in the field. This is your 15-minute qualifying that's taking place. We've got 5 minutes to go of it. Then we'll progress our way into a 40-minute race. So far, goes all the way up to third position, 9 tenths of the pace. Another driver in the mix for us to keep an eye on. So it's Bryce, Papen, Sofa, Tiberio, and Vibik, your top 5 at the moment. And look at the margins from third to fifth specifically. Dantis Papen is also within reach for those drivers as well. We're taking a look at George Given into the braking zone as he gets the car slowed in. Now this is Pozo. And what a fantastic racing facility this is. Of course, no longer utilised by real life in terms of the Formula 1 World Championship, but a lot of other series do come here, including one that I cover for radio, that is the Formula Regional European Championship now, no longer by Alpine, but that's produced some brilliant racing. So in terms of, I still get to commentate this circuit, but to be fair, ACSL, I think you're making up about 50% of the numbers, because I would say, I'm trying to think, last year I would have only commentated this circuit twice. Yes, twice. I would have only commentated this circuit. So, one was ACSL, and then of course one was that Freck around at the back end of last season. Guess who's gone just that little bit more quicker? Sprite into the 1 minute 49. It's a 1 minute 49.805. The driver with absolute control over this session in a dominant fashion. And I think this is a phrase that probably would be said by a lot of you watching at home. What if we removed the driver was first? What a battle we would have. And you know, that is always the case for some reason in an ACSL qualifying. In the races, they all you know, still manage to provide entertainment altogether, but when it comes to qualifying, there's always one driver who just dials in everything and just works with either the circuit, the car, all of those above, and just works in general on Assetto Corsa. We have some really talented drivers in the field. Of course, Sprite's gone even quicker at the front. Goodness me, he is flying. And look, he's teleported to the pit lane. He's gonna enjoy this battle for second place with the rest of us. So should we go and join this battle for second place then, as we're mentioning it so much? Here we go into the Sachs hairpin with Testori Tiberio, your champion from season 5, trying to be a champion in season number 7. It's going to be a tough ask, and you know, we're not officially getting started with the season today, but a pre-season event goes a long way in terms of suggesting what can happen when we take the lights in a couple of weeks' time. Really, really close margins. Taking a look across the field, George Given goes to 8th. Looking at Sofa over the line, and there's nothing he can do. Dante Sparpen, well, his goal will just be taken out of the grasps of everyone else, and he's making his way through the end of the lap. Let's jump on board with the Dutchman. You can hear him trying to stand on the power up towards the line, currently in second place. And when he sets the next lap time, it is a lap time that's only 9/10 of the pace, and more importantly, is one that has put himself majorly clear ahead of that group. He's into the pit lane, he's done. Over to the rest of them. Tiberio looks to be done as well. Bartop's in the pit lane, he's in 6th. Let's focus on Riebeck as he looks to try and push on. Here we go. Top 2 have very much set the laps. Sprite does not look like he'll be beaten. Spapen, I think, may not be beaten either because of how much he's been able to push. But let's follow these lap times with the rest of them. Riebeck making his way through the final corner. Where is this lap time going to go for the driver who is 1.4 seconds off the pace? Not in the fight for pole position, but can he try and get ahead of those who find themselves ahead at the moment? The answer's no, and he's in 5th. What is Sofa doing? Has he been able to find a mega improvement in a similar way that Dantis Papen did last time that he came over the line? Your answer is about to come your way in a few moments. And it is no. He can't do it. George Given's had an error pushing on. What about Pozo? Oh, he's going to be tagged and hit. And he'll back out of that. Any other drivers pushing on? It looks like Code Mayonnaise is. Round the final turn. Foot flat to the floor. Currently in 9th. Would love to try and improve a few more positions higher, and he won't be able to get that. Let's look over to Kitech. He's still going for it, it appears. As he makes his way through. Is he still pushing on? Well, we're about to find out whether he is or not. Out of the final corner, looks like he's going to come over the line. It's definitely seeming like a lap where he's not pushing as much. And yeah, he won't be able to do anything. And I think we are done. Unless Nilovic has anything. Unless he has anything to give. I think that will be us done. Pretty much. As they make their way through. Oh yes, oh yes. Looking in the chat. I called Dan just for friend a Dutchman. My word. Goodness me. That happened then, in the heat of the moment, I guess. But no, he's not from the Netherlands. He's from Belgium, guys. He's not from the Netherlands. Yes, very important to add. He's not. He is not from the Netherlands. So, I don't know why I came up with the Dutchman. I mean, it always seems like. Is it because he likes Max Verstappen? Did I? Because I know he likes Max Verstappen. Did I just link it in my head due to that? I possibly could have. I'm trying to now think. I also link him and Zandvoort together for some reason. now we're exposing what I link drivers with. But in your head you just get things of like. Now I don't know. My head's telling me that I've seen plenty of posts of Dante driving at Zandvoort. I mean, he's driving at Spa next week on Wednesday. I know. I do know that at least. George Gibbons in the chat. I can definitely assure you. Interesting. That honestly, I was not expecting that to come out of nowhere. We're completely losing it. Good news, we're about to go racing. Okay, I was about to say George Gibbon, I can definitely assure you is British. We've said that. I think I've said that the most across mentioning any driver's nationality. Due to his last lap stuff that he's been able to do, it's just constantly in my head. So I'm not messing that one up. Not messing that one up. I feel like now I'm going to have to mention that I'm gonna have to slot into this broadcast somewhere that Dan Dispapen is from Belgium, because yeah, just to make up. What did I think about the website? Well, I've kind of yapped on about the website earlier on, and well, you know, I'm really bigging up that this is a new era of racing. I won't be here to call the season opener. You'll have someone else talking you through season number 7. I'm here for the pre-season event. So, it's definitely going to be fun. Okay, making sure I'm in the pit lane. We will stare at the grid and count down. This is another race that counts towards your rating. And as we mentioned, this is the start of a new era. The season does not officially get underway, of course. That's round 1. We'll do that in a couple of weeks' time. But for now, it is pre-season testing here in ACSL. We are at Hockenheim, and it is time to count up the lights. The new era of ACSL is underway. Jumpstart immediately coming further back. Is that George Gibbon that's possibly bolted himself straight through into the lead? I wonder. We'll wait for our live timings to update for us as we now blast down towards the braking zone. It was George Gibbon who was able to make his way through. Sprite looking to try and get to the inside line and to retake the lead, and he's going to do so. And Dantis Papen is going to go wheel to wheel with him as they run really, really close together. Great racing at the start. Of course, George Gibbon with that jump start is always going to be heading backwards in terms of some form of a punishment. I'm sure will end up coming in, but for now, it is all eyes on the battling on the circuit right now. Are we going to see the move from Dan Dispapen, looking to try and be late on the brakes? George Gibbon is very nearly into the back as well of Sprite, who finds himself as the leader. Do they all get through? Contact! And off the road. Code Mayonettes involved off as well, further back and sideways is Kurgan, and the car off the road as well to the side. There was Daniel. Otterell also involved in a crazy opening lap at Hockenheim. What else did you expect to come in? As Tiberio sends one to the inside and gets past Sofa, who's dropped down on this opening tour. Not the start that he wanted at all. Exactly the getaway that Sprite wants. George Given, I mean, he would have loved life had he been able to get to second place. But of course, with the jump start, he is in second place, but it is with the jump start, as we mentioned. Dantis Papen is looking to try and get ahead. Side by side they go. And he's going to be looking to try and make the move before the conclusion of this lap, and it looks like he's done it. Round the outside, and Dantis Papen takes second place on the road. George Given will come into pit road, and now will serve his penalty. Oh, we've got a car off in the background. That's Pozo, who looks to also be coming in as well. I wonder whether there was any other jump starts, because when one driver goes, more can follow. For anyone who was following F1 Esports, the F1 Sim Racing World Championship today, that's exactly what we saw from 3 drivers. One went, 2 reacted, and you know those are the best. Of course, while this is not F1 25, this is Assetto Corsa, those are some of the best on their game that they compete on. These drivers, they're all different skill levels, they all have different skill sets, and just to show like how easy it is for it to be done. So what a start it has been, as we continue to try and see the overtaking in towards the braking zone. George Given's already on the back as he looks to try and make some moves, going for a triple overtake. That's going to be tight to the inside line, and he's fought his way by. Given gets past. Daniel will still be there. Glez will look to try and get their foot flat to the floor, and I think off the road as well was Otrev at the same time, but Given gets past, and George Given, well, that was bravery down there at the corner, and it got very tight and very nearly got to contact territory. You don't want to be making too much contact. As Sepe, he's in our live chat, and well, driving out there on the target as it stands quite literally right now. As he'll tell you, it will not do good for your rating. It will not do good. And I was very lucky to be able to be given, should I say early access? But I got to see the ratings. I got to see the ratings about a few days before all the other drivers, and it was really interesting to see how it evolved from one week to another. That was really, really interesting to see, and you know, of course, the more and more weeks we have that run, it will continue to change. Kurgan has got past Carol Schreck as well at the same time. Kajtik has got past Code Maynard. Plenty of action, plenty of racing going on the circuit. It's what we love about the ACSL Championship. Braking zone! That's going to be out of control! Who was that going off the road? Was it Kai Nilovic? It was! Nilovic spins as he goes straight on, was lucky to not collect anyone and, well, go into the side, as at the same time as he rejoins, Ottrell loses a place to him, and I think Daniel further back went off. I think Daniel got scared to some degree as he rejoined, and dramatic start to the race! I thought he was going to go into the back of this time. That would have been George Given, who was directly ahead. Otterell making the move round the outside, and he's got through. Oh no, they're going to both be wide and off into the gravel trap. So Otterell and Nilovic go wide together as they make their way through. As they blast by. Nilovic can always be an interesting driver when it comes to overtaking. Into the pit lane we go with Glez. He's at the back of the field, not having the start of the contest that he would have wanted. So we've got 33 minutes and 50 seconds to go on the clock. This is a 40-minute contest that is currently taking place out there on the circuit. As more and more battles go on, and I think Given and Otterell were going for it, and it appears like Otterell has come off worse in that scrap, because he was off the road when we saw him back off view when we joined this battle. We saw, I guess, more of the conclusion of the battle, rather than the start or as it happened. But the result of the battle, very, very important. George Given up against Carol Schreck. And Given's going to be ahead. And he's going to have the place in towards the next few couple of corners. That is going to be late on the brakes. Attempted move from Carol Schreck. And can't quite get there. So Given moves up. Now he's 4.7 seconds away from the next driver. That is Gabriel Kurgan, who is behind Sepe, who of course has done brilliant work on the website. We've mentioned it many times and I'll continue to mention it in my last few races, and I'm sure hopefully whoever takes over behind the mic of the ACSL Championship will also be doing the same, because, you know, it's all thanks to him that we're in this position and we're shaped in this way in terms of everything that he's done with the website. And I know a lot, of course, of the enjoyment from it is going to come as the season goes on, but already I've been loving it. As Kurgan does get ahead and Sepe does lose out as he was wide. But I can already tell you, of course, I commentated the start of 2025 and then I was gone for the rest of the year due to other commentary commitments. I came back for the start of this year, and of course, once again, I'm leaving. If I'm back next year, I'm going to be coming back to a sea load of information. There's going to be so much available. It's going to be unbelievable. And of course, that isn't to say that I won't be watching. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on the ACSL racing. I'll absolutely be keeping an eye in terms of what goes on, when it goes on. Definitely going to be very much an exciting journey. Not just across Season 7, but the future months that will follow. And even the future years, because we have been heading in the right direction time and time again. And the work that Sepe's done on the website has really pushed it to another level. And I'm so excited for the future of ACSL, and it's great to have been a very small part of it, with the brilliant work a lot of people do here, and of course the drivers being such a big part of it, coming on and providing us with a show every single week. And it may seem like I'm doing a goodbye speech. Do not worry, I've still got time. I mean, this is my last competitive race, isn't it? In terms of somewhat serious and competitive, because next up is the April Fool's race on Tuesday. Really looking forward to that. The Bouncing Yaris. Oh, that is going to be a ridiculous broadcast. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. But as you can tell, you know, you're going to be seeing, well, funny things on the circuit. I'll make sure that I'm of course going to change a bit of how I did the commentary, because, you know, it'll be a bit more laid back, relaxed. I'm right now standing up all into it and, you know, getting on with the commentary movement. But when it comes to when the cars are going to be bouncing, of course I'm going to be very much different up here in the commentary box watching it. And yes, it will be my final race. So it'll be some way to end it. I guess it's a bit of a celebration for me in terms of, yeah, that's me done with ACSL for the time being, and well, I get to just, you know, just be very much, just enjoy what's in front of me, have a bit of a laugh with everyone, because at the end of the day, we're all here to have fun. And even today, you know, we're completely yapping on. We've made a few jokes. We've had a bit of fun. I mean, you know, we started joking about OBS failing, which at the end of the day, no matter how serious it is, in some of the down moments, broadcasting, I will say, can be very fun. pay attention to, I mean, even, you know, the F1 broadcasting. There's jokes, there's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of humour in there. So of course, while we're here to kind of call the action, which is what I'm hopefully doing right now. But of course, we're also here to, you know, have quite a lot of entertainment together. And it's not just I talking into this microphone, I'm technically talking to you. It is basically a one-on-one conversation, but I'm just doing it with multiple people. However, you will of course take it as I'm just talking to you. And I really hope that you felt that way across the last few weeks, months. And of course, if you want to quite literally have conversations with me, put a message in the live chat. Put a message in the live chat. Anyway, should we watch some of the overtaking that could be about to happen? Code Bayonet getting closer, looking to try and get past Kitech. The two alongside each other, heading into the braking zone. Kitech's gonna go straight on, and he's gone wide as he will take a long line back onto the circuit. He's really misjudging the braking point, not the only one. Off in the background, Seppe's gone off in the background. Meanwhile, George Given slides and twitches as he makes his way through. The driver's fighting for control of the car. This is proving to be very difficult for the 17 in the field right now. What a day it's been as of yet, and what a day it will continue to be. 27 minutes on the clock to go. Let's jump on board with Sofa. Makes his way around the final corner and looks to try and have a chase for P5. Is he going to be able to do it on a champion, of course, of ACSL, Season 5 champion, Testori Tiberio. Won that championship by 11 points that year. What a great champion he was. What great champions we've crowned across the board. Code Bayonet started off their journey in season number 1. Rye Vodka, season 2, which is of course the season I got to call with you. And then season 3, Sergio Barrera winning that championship. When we had the TCR series, season 4 was Dandis Papen. He took a double championship. When I say a double championship, we had the Ginetta GT4 running, we had the Peugeots running, so that's 2 different titles that he won in a dual campaign season, really. Here's Daniel. He's had a slight excursion, but he continues on now. And of course, as we mentioned now twice, Testori Tiberio, Season 5 champion in the GT4 series, and most recently, the man who loves getting the lead of races, pulling a big gap, and dominating. I've given you quite a few clues. You should hopefully know by now. But of course, Mr. Kasper Marcin. Not with us here today, but won that championship. The BTCC BMW. SBD Racing Esports have gone back to back as well, taking the crown. But of course, we had, second team take the crown in season 6. Who will be taking the championship in season 7? Well, we're a long way away from finding that out. But right now, we can all just enjoy a bit of racing. We're not even racing currently for the actual championship yet. Of course, we've started season 7. This is the official first day of it, but we'll start round 1 in a couple of weeks' time. Sepe defends. George Given places the car on the outside. Look, he'll brake early. Can he try and get the cutback? Can he try and get the car rotated? And then try stand on the power. Here we go. This is going to be a good chance now for George Given, the driver in 11th, looking to try and tuck in the wheel tracks. He'll be getting slipstream all the way down towards the corner of Parabolica. That is the little kink that the drivers have just gone through now. And we're heading towards the braking zone, but George Given backed out of it. He could have easily had the outside line. He wanted the inside line. Sepe, though, on the inside, is going to run in deep. Better traction off the corner. They meet in the middle, and George Given gets ahead and moves up to 10th. Great stuff from him. The British driver moves up through, and Sepe loses out. As we now slam on the brakes, but Sepe's trying to fight back all the way round the outside. What a fight this is between the pair of them, and he's got it back. He's got it back on the inside line. Oh, this is thrilling. Thrilling stuff at Hockenheim. And now Sepe is going to try and block. But he's going to be, well, in deep. George Given's going to get the chance on the inside line, and they're going to be side by side now. Down towards Zach's hairpin. It's millimetre stuff between the pair of them. Sepe with the position ahead. Given trying to get better traction. Given has got better traction. This is thrilling. And it's centimetre stuff. They're very nearly making contact at so many points. Sepe is ahead. Given will try and make his way now through on the run towards turn number 1. He goes in slightly deep. That gives him better traction though. And he's gaining. Can he set up a move to the inside? It's not a proper braking zone turn 1. You're already looking to try and aim for turn 2. But George Given running in deep. He's not going to be able to aim and take the position. But can he try and stay close for an attack down the back stretch? That's what he'll be aiming for. Heavy on the brakes, late on the brakes, and it's not worked out for him. It's not worked out for him. He's lost about a further 0.2 of a second. But this is a juicy fight, and then some. We're being entertained and we're being spoiled here in the opening race of the ACSL Season 7. Not an opening round, but pre-season testing. George Given! Oh my word! I really lost balance up here in the commentary box with how close he got under braking to Sepe. This is fantastic, but it's not the only fantastic battle you've got going on. Look at this as well at the same time. Pozo and Otterell going for it. And they're going to be millimetres away from contact as well, but Pozo's going to be ahead. So Pozo takes the place. Can Otterell fight back on the outside line? Two battles where drivers cannot be separated, and we very nearly see contact, but Pozo gets past. Kaitek's trying to get past Gabriel Kurgan. George Given's trying to get past Sepe. And we are getting to a point where we don't know where to look up here in the commentary box. And that is how we love it. Sepe goes in deep. Sepe deep. Given. Can he now get the chance? Sepe wide once again. Given's got the inside line into the final corner. Door-to-door contact made between the pair of them, and George Given gets ahead. But now, are we going to be seeing Kajdnailovic get involved at the same time? That'll be the aim for him into the first turn. He's watching the two ahead battle, but I'm sure he's going to look to try and get involved. We jump on board with him. Outside, inside, which way is it going to be? A line's open on the outside line. Sepe's going to send it late on the brakes on George Given. He gets through. Kajdnailovic looks to try and stand on the power as well. This is fantastic racing. Now we're down the back straight. George Given has to pick a line. He's going to try and make the move. All the while Kaitek is getting past Gabriel Kurgan as well. And he's been able to confirm the move further up ahead. But now we're going to be trying to see the fight back. Coming into the braking zone. Where is Nailovic going to go? He's going to look to try and go in the middle. Further up the road. You can see Kaitek is going for it up against Gabriel Kurgan. George Given finds himself still inching past. Sepe's going to look to try and stand on the power. And this new selection of car is working well, because it's proving the brilliant ACSL racing that we're used to. And it was always going to end in tears. Kajdnailovic goes sideways momentarily. Still they go wheel to wheel, Given and Sepe. And these two there's nothing we can do to separate the pair. This is unbelievable. We're looking for it into every corner now. Further up the road, Kurgan is ahead of Kaitek. Sepe now with a chance as Given goes in deep. Given trying to get on the power. And all of a sudden Kajdnailovic is back there, and it's like nothing happened. It's like nothing has happened. This is unbelievable. Should we go back on board? Should we get the best seat in the house? I think we should. onto the start-finish straight. I don't know how Sepe was able to turn a defence into an overtake, but sometimes the best form of defence is attack. As a lot of experienced and great racing drivers will tell you. Attack is definitely the approach Sepe took to stay ahead of Nailevich. Is Nailevich feeling brave into the braking zone? Has a look up the inside line, and it looks like he might just be able to exit ahead. Can he try and roar the long way round? Bit of contact from the front of the car of Nailevich to the rear of Sepe, and now Sepe is going to look to try and defend this place. Given might just be able to make his break, because these two are possibly getting into combat now permanently if they're not careful. Into the braking zone, and Sepe nearly hits the back of George Given, but now Sepe goes in deep. Nailevich stands on the power, and Nailevich moves up past P11. Given's in 10th, and Sepe's in 12th. Welcome to ACSL in Season 7. Oh! Nailevich! That would have been outrageous had he been able to get there. Oh, we're being treated to something. Half race distance has passed, by the way. This is an unbelievable race. And as we've mentioned, this is not round 1 of your new season. It's a pre-season event. It's a pre-season race ahead of season number 7, which will begin in a couple of weeks' time. And this is what you're going to be getting. Well, this is what you're going to have to look forward to. I don't think it'll be that hard to look forward to it, will it? I think when it comes to ACSL, we mentioned the league name and you already get excited. But if you needed a bit more encouragement to tune in and watch every single round, if you needed any encouragement to join maybe as a driver, here it is. This is the rivalries that we're already developing, and the battles which don't just end straight away. They go on and on and on, and that's what we're getting. Okay, should we just take a deep breath, because there's no guarantee whether this is going to last 1 corner or 3 laps. So let's compose ourselves. Nailevich getting closer. Is he going to be close enough for a late send on George Given? Not quite. The two are going to remain together, but Given's going to be slightly deep over the curb. Sepe's running wide in the white liveried machine further back. Meanwhile, at the same time, Carol Schreck has got past Otterell. They're going for it. Nailevich inching ahead, and he makes the move through the little kink of the corner. George Given's going to fight it. On the brakes he will go. Can he try and send the car in? Is he going to be able to get by? Nailevich off wide in the process. Contact made between the pair, and now we look to try and rejoin the scrap, because Given's going to have better traction. Is he going to be able to find an inside line? It looks like he has. Late on the brakes, and this battle continues, and now Sepe's going to join the party. Look at the momentum that Sepe has. Nailevich back up the inside with a lunge. George Given will have the outer line, which gives him better traction off the corner and gives him the inside for a couple of corners more, and he's going to take it to take the race lead. In terms of, sorry, this lead battle, I should say, not the race lead on the circuit. It may feel like a battle for the lead because these three are the only ones we've got our eyes on. So he's going to take the, well, lead position in this battle, which of course is P10. Sepe's going to try fight into turn number 1. He's all over the curb. He's on the inside line. Nailevich is going to try and stand on the throttle and hope he can get involved. He'll sit back, watch, wait. He's trying to make a move. He's darting all over the place, looking to try and get involved. Can he get on the power? He's giving a tap to Sepe. Sepe is now going to be all over the back of George Given. Sepe, I think, is about to make a move. I'm predicting an inside lunge. Here we go. Is that going to be the case? 14 minutes, 30 seconds to go. 3 drivers who have absolutely nothing to separate them. Sepe going for it. On the brakes, he's surely going to have a very compromised line into the corner. It was always going to be in deep, and he's tagged by Nailevich, who makes contact with him. And Sepe now is going to lose out to Pozo, who moves up to 12th and now is very much involved in this battling. And it was always going to end in more contact after so long of seeing side-by-side racing. That is unbelievable. As now Pozo begins to flash the headlight. George Gibbons like, wow, I've got a gap. 1.8 seconds. My word, I've been waiting for this chance and he's got it. He's got it. And now he can try and pull away. That was unbelievable scrapping. I cannot believe what we just witnessed. It got too exciting that I got ahead of myself. I called it a battle for the lead. He takes the race lead, I said. That's how exciting it was. I mean, it's not often that you randomly get me call a random battle, the battle for the lead, but it's so exciting that, you know, in the heat of the moment, that's what it felt like and that's what came out. Here is Tiberio. This is a battle higher up in the field. For P4, Brandon Bartop has had possession for it for so long, but now Tiberio will send one down the inside. Keep your eye on Sofa at the same time. He could have a shot if these two get any more closer than they already are. They go wheel to wheel to the kink. Now it's the inside line for Bartop. Can Tiberio try and get the cut back? Sofa all the while is being late. He's giving a little nudge to Tiberio. Get on with it, he's saying. Come and make that move on Bartop so I can also try and make a move myself. It's right now. What he'll be thinking in the helmet. Kurgan's got back past Kitek. Here these two are. Nalovic is ahead of Pozo. And it's now the point where I don't know where I'm looking. Is that going to be a wide line for Kurgan? It might be. Kitek's going to try and stand on the power, and he may just have a chance. We're back to season racing, and if I'm honest, we're getting the best scraps we've ever seen. Some of the best. As well, Sofa's looking forward on Tiberio, and they were very close as we enter the start-finish straight and begin another lap. And Bartop has made his break away. 1 second. Sofa's going to look to try and now produce the overtake on Tiberio. Can he do it immediately? Can he be late on the brakes? No, patience. Patience is the key game that he decides to choose on this occasion. And now, wait. Get on the power. Tuck in the toe. And now inch closer and closer and closer. Let's jump on board. Make your predictions. Are we going to be seeing a lunge? The gap is about 0.3 of a second. Some drivers have been successful with it. But Sofa is definitely being the sensible driver that we know he is. It's not the final lap. It's not a do or die type move at the moment. And he doesn't try to turn it into one. And that's so important as a driver. Because if it's the last lap, absolutely worth the risk. But if it's not, which it isn't, then you know, you're going to get a few chances. Realistically, there's a big gap behind. Realistically, if you get past the two cars ahead, you're going to still finish in fourth. You're not really chasing the podium place. So, he can still see the two cars ahead. So it's not an urgent move that he needs to make. That's a late send. We cut to the result of it. Nyla reach up the inside. Pose over the cutback. They're level as they make their way now towards our camera down there. It's still going to be wheel to wheel between the pair of them. Nyla will go off the road. He'll rejoin now with the inside line, but surely he'll go too deep. Cut back, switch back, power applied, and Pozo moves up to 10th position. And he's able to get himself through. And we're seeing so much of the battles that just go on and on and on, and this is thrilling. This is everything that we signed up for here in ACSL season number 7. And while it might not even be round 1 yet, it's only pre-season testing, but we are getting all of, well, we're getting a season's worth of clips for most motorsport series due to how exciting this is. Here's Carol Schreck looking to attack Otterell as well, who appeared to have a moment earlier on, and this is a great battle with the two drivers in the same colour scheme, the same coloured cars, the same livery. And right now, this is one of many battles that take place on the circuit. Oh! Carol Schreck goes off. Off the road they go. As Kurgan's got past Kitek. Here they are, side by side. And what a fight this is between Kurgan and Kitek. Kitek on the inside line, Kurgan trying to go all the way round. Better traction, and he'll have the position. And he'll make his way through, but Kitek is of course going to look to try and respond. That's the driver's spirit at the moment. We've got 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Already looks to try and pick his line, and pick his line for the inside. So I'm going to go in his favour at the moment. And they will still make their way through, but now Kitek looking to try and get closer on the brakes. Inside line, through Sachs hairpin we go. And with 8 minutes to go on the clock, an important and exciting fight continues on the circuit as Kurgan and Kitek do battle. What a race it's been so far. And Nilovic is dropping down. I think he's lost the place to Pozo. That's what's happened there. Kurgan's still going for it. This is just unbelievable racing, isn't it? Unbelievable racing. Tucking back in the toe. Looking to try and make a move. And it's going to be side by side. Heading into the corner. They're basically looking to try and haul on the anchors. Kitek and Kurgan will both go deep in together. Kitek will be wider. It could give him better traction, however. I mean, it's about in the middle, isn't it? And they still remain in those positions. But now, Kitek is going to have a lunge back straight away. Down the inside. As Pozo and Nilovic make their way through and ignore the things going on with the leaderboard at the front. That's not actually a battle that's going on. It's just a transponder issue. Brandon Bartop, what's happened? Looks like he's had a moment. And it was all going very well. All going very well. Until he had that slight excursion. Let's go back over to Kitek and Kurgan. This is absolutely fantastic racing. 6 minutes to go on the clock. And we are all ready to do battle. Now let battle continue. As off the road goes Kitek in comparison to Kurgan. And now we regroup. I never imagined that we'd ever go this silent on the circuit, because they've not let us have a moment to relax or breathe so far. I'm honestly in utter shock that we got to this level of calmness. I was like, oh, this is hard. We're having to find the battles. Best issue to have. Try and search for the battles. Where are they? Where are they? But, oh well, sorry. No, we know the battles, but try and find the right one. Oh, that's a disappointment for Carol Schreck, who's going to retire from the contest. They've been part of a decent bit of battling, and they've produced a bit of entertainment for us. So big well done to them on today. Here we go with Kai Danilovic. He is coming closer to Pozo, and he's sending it late on the brakes. That's a late lunge, inside line, bit of contact between the rear of Nilovic's car and the front of Pozo, and they're immediately back into combat once again into this final sector. This is all over 10th as well, but these two are absolutely, well, treating this as it is, quite literally the final lap. We still are about a few minutes away from it. 4 minutes to go on the clock, and when it turns 0, that will be the final tour of the race. So we've not got long remaining. as they flick the car in through the final corner. That'll be good traction, I think, for Pozo. Keep an eye on him. I think that's a good exit. He's come from about 5 tenths back. It's still 5 tenths. Thought it could have been a bit more promising there. But, you know, he's still within range, and that's the important thing, because he's got a shot. He's got a chance to take this position. Let's jump on board with Pozo. 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go. Oh, Nailovic wide. But because of the good buffer, by ACSL standards, the good buffer that he had kind of saves him there. Does kind of help him. Does kind of save him to some degree. As Pozo tries to get it slowed down. That's very close. Off the road. We will run with Kai Nailovic. Another wide moment for him. And now it's all going to be about bringing this one home for the drivers. As there, Nailovic has gone in wide. Pozo's going to get the chance. Here we go. Round the outside. He'll try and get the comeback. Better traction. And he's going to take it. Pozo's going to get through. And, well, that was well executed. But this battle is not going to be a done deal yet. As already proven, it will go on and on and on until the final lap of the race and possibly into the final corners. We do not know who will we be crowning in 10th over the line. And Nailovic looking to try and get closer and closer for a move. And this is exactly what we wanted. To begin this new era of ACSL that has got underway. We'll have our season opening race officially for Season 7 in a few weeks. This has been your pre-season event. And a pre-season event that has delivered the goods. Brandon Bartop is giving jump scares and then some. Slightly appearing as red on our timing board, as meanwhile that's another lunge from Kai Nailovic. Down the inside he goes, but it was always going to be far too deep. Pozo retakes the place. And this has been a thrilling race. This has been an unbelievable race. It's what I'm sure everyone dreamed of at the start of the day. To have this style of entertainment. And we're on to the final lap. We are on the final lap of the race. Sprite only has a couple of corners that will be in between himself and the victory here today. And what a drive it has been from Sprite. A complete domination. We'll get to him in a few moments time. But this is the battling that's going on. Code Mayonet has got a chance to get past Brandon Bartop. That's going to happen on the final lap as well. Plenty to look forward to. Personal best on the last lap for Code Mayonet for him. And it's giving him now a chance to try and take P6 away. Nearer to the end of the contest. As we head into the braking zone. Critical exit coming up now for Code Bayonet. Looks to try and stand on the power. He's a little bit too far back, but I think it could be maybe something he can try and work with into the third sector. I think he's got a chance in the third sector. He definitely might be able to do something. It's a bit too far back though into this corner. He's got to keep it well executed. Under braking, he's so late on the brakes. He really closes in. He brakes early, tries to get on the power earlier. And Bartop does not have the best line through that part of the circuit. And this will be a battle that will go on as they make their way through. Meanwhile, our race leader is into the final corners of the final lap. He dominated qualifying. He's dominated the race. An 11.4 seconds advantage through the final corner. And it will be Sprite who will gain a huge amount of confidence to start off Season 7. He takes the pre-season race here at Hockenheim. Dantis Papen will take second place. And he will put himself comfortably there as well by 5.6 seconds to Vibik, who will take the final spot on the podium. They're of course battling all the way till the end. We're looking to some of the scrapping going on A bit more further down in the lap. This is Narlovic versus Pozo versus Sepe. And they're scrapping away. This could be a complete brawl all the way till the end. Narlovic goes in deep. Pozo tries to stand on the power. Lap cars, lap traffic in the way absolutely everywhere. Oh no, that's Kurgan. That's Kurgan. It's not lap traffic. Kurgan, something's happened to him. He's lost out on the final lap. And he's reset to the pit lane. What a shame. It was Tiberio 4th, Sofa 5th, Bartop, Mayonets, Kitek will be in 8th position. Can Narlovic hang on? He's only got a couple more corners to go. He's got a 1.6 second advantage. Can Sepe try and attack Pozo? In the final corners of the race. The answer to that is about to come our way. It's looking good. It's looking tidy. It's looking exactly what Narlovic and Pozo need it to be. And it will be. The race concluding for Narlovic, for Pozo, and for Sepe, who have produced quite some racing here today. That was unbelievable. Another driver who delivered the goods. He won't be satisfied with the result, I don't think, George Given, but he gave us so much entertainment, and he is in P12, and what a shame for Gabriel Kurgan. He's back onto the circuit, but something went wrong on the last lap, quite literally on the last lap. For him, to see him drop down, ACSL is back. Official season racing. It's only pre-season, it's not round 1, but if that is a little preview in terms of what is to come this year in season number 7, bring it on. Quite literally, bring it on. Wow, what a start to the campaign that was. ACSL at its absolute finest. And we'll compose ourselves up here in the commentary box. It's always important after every ACSL race. It's tradition at this point. I read, just regroup, which, you do after every race. But I've got some interviews to go to. I can't wait until then. Got to do it now. Got to just, regain some of the energy that the 40 minutes of racing and the 15 minutes of qualifying before that absolutely took out of us. Right. It is time for interviews. How entertaining. Okay. Let me get myself into the briefing. Let me start the briefing. Broadcast room. Start the stage. Interviews. I'm having to title it. Of course. Interviews. Start stage. And we're speaking. Who's going to be the first one here? Let's have another game. Who's going to be the first one here? Oh, it's George Given his one out of the fight in terms of being the first one into the call. Oh, that was thrilling. That was incredible. ACSL racing. Okay, we'll wait to see who comes. First of all, I'll wait and see whether Sprite is coming. If not, then we'll just go to Dante's Prepen, and we'll systematically work our way through the order. Oh, Gabriel Kurgan saying ran out of fuel. That explains it. That does explain it. That does explain it. It was a shame because he was only a couple of corners away. My mic's wrong on. Yes, it is. It is. Thank you. Thank you, George Given. My mic is wrong on Discord. Oh my god. Hello. Yes, I am doing well. Yes, it is now completely correct as you mentioned. Okay, so I guess we'll speak to you first of all. How was that? How was that out there on the circuit? Overall thoughts then? Overall feeling after concluding the race?
Overtook two cars, I think. And from then on, my race was basically just following Dante. At one point of the race, Dante took off. I couldn't match his pace, and and then I was managing my race pace and my at the end I think I started managing my fuel to finish. But yeah, Sprite was on another level today. Congrats to him. And yeah, Dante was also very consistent, so I don't think I could have finished higher than P3 today.
Absolutely. And of course, this is a pre-season event. I guess it's a preview ahead of the actual season. How are you feeling then about the car? Do you like the car? And I guess in terms of the calendar, in terms of the season that we have coming up, do you think we're going to be getting more races where you can possibly contend near the front?
Well, actually, calendar is really goated. It's really great tracks, but I think that the car is like too sluggish. I have too much understeer in this car. Probably I need to tweak something in the setups. But yeah, calendar is great. I love those tracks, and I hope I'll be able to fight with other guys for the podium during the upcoming races.
Absolutely. And in terms of on to Tuesday, we've got a Bouncing Garris race. Are you competing?
Of course, I must compete. I mean, I think that it was my idea, and we were asking Dante for bouncing carries for quite some time. So uh, I'm happy that it will be in 2 days. I think, yeah. Oh no,
Yes, it's
3 days.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yes, Tuesday.
in 3 days. Yeah, so I'll definitely be competing in this race.
Okay, well, sounds good. Well done on today, then. Well done on today. And, well, it's not long until we'll see you back out on circuit, so we'll see you on Tuesday then.
Yeah, thank you very much, and have a great day.
Yes, thank you very much. Have a great day yourself and go and enjoy that. We'll keep the interviews kind of short because there's quite a lot of drivers that are here. And I know I've not been able to do the whole field due to I've had to run off in the last few days. Not last few days, last few weeks that we've had a race. So, yes, I'll make sure that I can quickly get to everyone. We'll bring up Sprite next because, of course, he was our race winner. And then we'll go to Dante after, and then I'll randomly pick drivers across the board. There we go. I think we have got Sprite up here in the commentary box. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Well, first of all, congratulations on what was an absolutely brilliant performance out there on the circuit. Dominated, I guess we can say practice, dominated qualifying, dominated the race. Was that kind of the expectation coming into today? Did you know that you had such a pace advantage over everyone?
No, actually, because I hadn't practiced at all. Like on the free practice of the race, it was the first time that I had driven and this track and car, so I didn't expect a really good result coming to the race, but maybe a top 5 or something. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
do continue.
really happy with the race, how it went.
It went quite nicely, to be fair, for yourself. So, in terms of then overall, this of course was the preseason event. In a few weeks, we'll actually begin the season. How do you think you're feeling then? Now that we've had a race, of course you've dominated it. Do you think it will be a similar situation come the actual season, or do you think you'll have more names fighting with you for different races?
I don't know, because there's also many strong people such as Dante, Wivik, like we've seen today on the podium, and some other people like Casper who haven't raced today, or yeah.
Yeah.
So probably they will be fighting for victories and podiums. So I think it will be harder for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then in terms of for yourself, Tuesday, are you going to be running in the Bouncing Garris race?
Yeah, I think so. I'm yet to sign up, but I will definitely race.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you then. So go and enjoy the next few days, go and enjoy the victory, and we will see you then on Tuesday for some amazing action.
Yeah, same.
Okay, thank you very much, Sprite, for coming and talking with us. I'll go to Dan to prepare, and then I'll go to George Given after, because I know George Given has to kind of run as well straight after. Hello, Dante. Can you hear us?
Hello, yes, I can.
Lovely. First of all, I'd like to readdress. You're from Belgium, not the Netherlands. I think that's important to
Yes.
add to start this interview. However, how was it for you when it came to the circuit? We couldn't quite watch you too much due to some of the other battles that were going on in the mid pack. But from your perspective, how did it go for yourself?
Yeah, quali went for me very well. Of course, you had Sprite, who just, yeah, you could call it a blowout, really, of qualifying, and then the race. And then at the start, yeah, George Given had the jump start, and then because of that, I lost touch to Sprite because Sprite managed to get in front of him early on, so I was stuck behind him for the lap, and then Sprite was already 2 minutes in front, 2 minutes, sorry, 2 seconds in front. So yeah, he could drive away, and then the rest of my race was just yeah, driving alone with yeah, Weebick keeping very good pace with me. Actually, at the start it was always 1 second, maybe 0.8, and then I started gaining more time as the race went on. So I managed to get a gap of around 4-5 seconds. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in terms of an overall picture, now that we've had a race as well with this, now officially in season 7 with our pre-season, what's your chances, do you think, heading into the season? Of course, you were the season 4 champion, a double champion from that in the Ginetta GT4 and also the Peugeot 206 GTI Cup that we had that season. Do you think possibly you could, I guess, get possibly a third championship overall this season?
I really doubt it. If it's gonna be like this race, I think I'm always gonna be like up there, at least top 5. But you know, the top 1 or 2 are always gonna be like second ahead in qualifying. You know, now like Sprite said, Casper didn't race, then I would have been P3, let's say. So yeah, it's gonna be a matter of who races, who doesn't, and maybe I just have to do a little bit more practice laps.
So, of course, in every single ACSL season, you've been in the top 3 in the championship. So would you say that's the aim? If it's not going to be the championship, do you think maybe just be second or third?
Yeah, that's very fine for me, of course, keeping the streak alive of top 3 championships.
Yes, absolutely. And then, of course, I mean, I know you're competing in the bouncing race when it comes to Tuesday. But do you have any words for everyone in terms of the race that we'll have coming up?
Yeah, just if you're free Tuesday night, just yeah, come do a little fun race. You don't really need to practice. It's not an esports level race, just
Yes.
for fun. And of course, it's the magical bouncing Yaris.
It is. It is. It's honestly going to be incredible. Okay, then. Well done today on the podium, and we'll let you go and enjoy, well, the celebrations, and of course, looking ahead to Tuesday at the same time.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for the good commentation. I'll say.
No worries. No worries at all. Now, I'm going to bring up George Given, as I mentioned. Now, before we get into this, of course, as mentioned, he jumped the start. He jumped the start. And actually, I declared it as we left off the line, because even though the liveries change each week, I could recognize the livery, and I immediately and I went for a bit of a bold decision to point out who it was, and I did end up getting it right. So it's actually one of the only times I've actually had to identify in an ACSL race. It's one of the only times I've actually had to try and identify a driver, because of course the live timings don't update in the first 10 seconds. So I was correct with it. I could have been heavily wrong, but it was George Given who did have that jump start. So George, of course, it didn't start off well, but you then got involved in some great battling and really kept us entertained. How was it overall for you?
Obviously the start, a jump start, probably not the best way to start almost a season, but not the best way to start a race in general. But then I did manage to catch up and have a bit of battling, and then I'm not sure if you noticed, but I ran out of fuel, so I had to go to the pit lane and put some more fuel in. But I didn't do too much practice for the race, so I think that's also why I just couldn't feel fast in the cars. I noticed in the braking zones, everyone else was braking later, but I couldn't brake any later than that, otherwise I'd go wide.
Okay, so what would you say then is the aim moving forward for the actual season when it gets underway? What will be the aim to try and work on that, do you think?
Just more practice, to be honest. Maybe I think the setup is also an issue. I just slapped on a setup from like the in-game setup search thing. I think it's actually a mod. I'm not sure, but I slapped that on. I tried messing around with the ABS. It didn't really help much. But yeah, I think more practice. Hopefully, make a setup. I'm not that good at setups, but at least one that can be more competitive. That would help a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe you won't be racing with us on Tuesday. But in terms of what would be your words, I guess, for everyone, and what do you think they can expect for the Bouncing Garage race that we'll have?
I think it's going to be interesting. Obviously, it's not really a racing car. It's more of just a, can't even call it a street car. It's like a more of a meme car, to be honest. It's not really
Yeah.
a category of car, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be difficult for people in the interior view camera because actually any view it's going to be difficult considering they're all bouncing around. So yeah, I think another reason why I was quite slow today was I'm competing in a 12-hour race with my friends today, and we had to fix the stints because if my stint went through this race, then I wouldn't have been able to do the race, and I don't want to lose any more safety rating considering last week I missed the race when I signed up, and that did a heavy hit on my safety rating.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well done. So I guess this is my final ever broadcast with you in ACSL, as you won't be with us on Tuesday. So well done on a great performance, and I want to wish you the best of luck when it comes to the season and all the upcoming races that we'll have in ACSL.
Thank you.
Okay, that was George Given, which we were speaking to. We're going to go to Kurgan next. If anyone does want an interview, then put your hand up, because I know not everyone in there is going to be does want an interview. I think some people are just listening. So there we go. We have got Gabriel Kurgan now with us, and Kurgan, you were one of the drivers who I think produced some of the most entertainment, let's say, today. How was it overall, from your perspective?
The race was it was beautiful. I liked it. I liked the track, the car handling. Well, the handling is questionable, but you just need to get used to it as we have a season ahead. That's what preseason is for. Over half the race, I've been saving the fuel because I miss misput my fuel. And so the entertainment I've provided with Kitech was just me trying to survive. It was, I remember it was like, vividly remember it was this 22nd minute we were racing, and I was like, I'm giving up on catching P7. I need to survive because I'm trying to raise my safety rating, and the
Yeah.
other thing, these races, all I'm trying to do is just maybe prove something, because I've
Yeah.
reached out to a few teams, and it seems as if they forgot. How do I put this? I've reached out to some teams, I won't say their name, but it's like I'm a rookie. They just look at the safety rating and the other thing and judge you based just off of that. I mean, I don't. It's their right to do so, and I'm just trying to get myself back up.
And I think these races are a good chance of doing that as well. So, and also, of course, you know, you've now got a bit of video evidence showing some of your battles on the circuit at the same time. So you were definitely very much within the mix, and as I said, producing probably most of the racing that we did have. It was you and a few other drivers who were mostly involved. When it comes to Tuesday, then, are you going to be racing with us for the Bouncing Yaris race?
Yes, I most likely will be there because it's the bouncing Yaris. I'm really curious on how that is going to work. And yeah, hopefully we beat that record of 42 participants.
It's honestly going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it, and of course, it will be my final race as well, broadcasting. But I guess the final competitive race was today, which we just brought to a close. And you very much kept myself and everyone watching at home entertained. So well done on today, and we'll hopefully then see you in a few days for a bit of fun when it comes to the Bouncing Yaris race.
Thank you. Thank you. You were a good commentator as well.
Thank you very much, Gabriel Kurgan. Okay, I think we've only got Pozo left to speak to, and then we are done as well. And Pozo's now up here in the commentary box. Hello, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, well, you also, if I remember, kind of got involved nearer to the end in terms of some of the scrapping when it came to the mid-pack. So how was it overall for you then?
Well, I had a really bad start because I jumped the start and I have the drive-through. Then I spun a few times, but then I started to catch the middle pack. Really good battle with Kite, and I think I was very lucky when I catch the group because Sepp spun and then George went to the pit lane, so it was just me and Kite fighting. But yeah, really fun race, and I think I had a really good pace.
I think you did as well. So they're looking from an overall scale, let's just say. We've now seen the car. What do you think are your chances ahead of the season? Of course, everyone's going to try and probably do a bit of preparation and try put themselves in a better position with setups, etc. Where do you think you'll be in the order come round number 1 in a few weeks?
I think I can be in front of where I ended up today. I mean, I think I can be in the maybe top 10 in every race, even top 6, top 7, depending on the track. But yeah, I think a top 10 on the championship will be a really good position for me, and it will be amazing if I can achieve that.
It definitely would. And then the question we've asked everyone: Tuesday, are you joining us for the Bouncing Yaris race?
Of course I am. Of course, I don't have anything better to do. So yeah, I will join the race, and let's see what can we do.
It's honestly going to be a lot of fun. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for joining us, and I guess we'll see you in a few days on the 31st of March then.
Yeah, we will try to be there. So let's see what happens.
Okay.
Thank you, Omi.
No
Really
worries.
good stream. I really like how you do it.
Thank you very much. Very kind. And thank you for joining us as well. Okay, and that was the final driver. And that means we are pretty much done. Plenty of drivers to talk to, and I think some really strong interviews as well, as I saw Dante also acknowledging it. But yeah, some really strong answers, I think, across the board, and lots of great insight for everyone to have ahead of the season. And of course, we'll similarly have, I guess, more questions asked on Tuesday. Of course, it will be a bit more of a fun tone because, you know, it's a fun race at the end of the day. We're going to be having a lot of fun with the Bouncing Yaris race. But also, I will make sure that I can get as much voices heard and get as much information out of the drivers, as of course it's my final race, and I'm sure the league will also still be trying to find a commentator for the actual season ahead. So we'll definitely do some more interviews and try to speak with absolutely everyone that decides to join us, and that is how that will go. Well, I guess this was my final competitive race in ACSL for the time being. Not ever, because, you know, what happened last year? We said goodbye, and I ended up back in this position, same time, just 1 year on. who knows? Who is to say it won't happen again next year, 2027? Because, there's not a lot of motorsport on at the start of the year. There's nothing really better to do in my life than watch some of the absolute great drivers on Assetto Corsa battle it out, and the league is in a great position as well with the website and everything that it has done recently as well. So I'd once again like to say a huge thank you to Sepe for all of the work that he's done. A big thank you as well to the whole admin team and everyone who makes everything possible. And it has been a really, really, really great time across the last few months for myself, and I'm sure it will be a great time across the year for everyone watching on. Quickly, Sepe saying thank you, Amy, for streaming ACSL. No worries, it's been great doing it across competitive races. Bouncing Garrus, I mean, we're still going to be giving it, full attention and everything. I'm going to be giving it everything on comms, but you're definitely going to have the fun side to it up there in the commentary box as well. So I'm looking forward to that, and thank you very much to Sofa as well. Okay, well, I've previewed it enough, I've mentioned it enough. We'll be back, not in a week's time. We'll be back in a few days instead. We will be here on the 31st of March on Tuesday. So, quite literally a few days, we will be back for the Bouncing Garrus race. It's been heavily anticipated, and it's been a race that a lot of drivers have waited for, and I'm looking forward to bringing you it on Tuesday, as we mentioned. So, go and enjoy, and try and relax. Whether it's in a bed, I would hope it's in a bed. We've got the Japanese Grand Prix on later on. But yes, go in your beds, enjoy, calm down, scroll on TikTok, do what you want. It's, however, going to be very much just a sprint till Tuesday. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, well, wrapping up in terms of professional, because realistically, I don't know how I'm going to dress up on Tuesday. So I just want to make sure that, I'm kind of looking somewhat professional right now. So, I guess thank you very much. Thank you very much from the competitive side of things. I don't know, as I said, what I'll wear on Tuesday and whether I'm in a position to do a professional outro to a broadcast. So this might be the final one that you get from me in terms of it being somewhat professional. Join us for the fun. Join us for the madness on Tuesday in a couple of days' time. But for myself, up here in the commentary box, it is goodbye.